ladies and gentlemen, I had a whole spiel lined up for you guys about why I was tier 4ing Dr. Octopus, but the truth is much simpler than that. If you go over to the Arena tab, and you go over to Alliance Battle, and you go over to List, and then you go over to Legend, and you scroll down, you will see that at 12 million points, you get a chest that gives you a tier 4 box. And the tier 4 box has 50 of either this, or this, or this. And I need a lot of this, and I need a lot of this to get more tier 4s. So naturally, tier 4ing characters that will help you get more of these boxes is beneficial to getting more tier 4s. So it's sort of like investing in your future, investing in your education, let's say, so that you can get a better job. It doesn't always end up working like that because of like inflation and academic inflation and all that shit. But anyways, I'm not going to get into all that. We're going to tier 4 Dr. Octopus. Full disclosure here, despite heavily hating on the tier 4 Black Friday relay, I actually ended up getting it because I had nothing else to spend my money on. I did the full 6 levels of bingo, and then I basically had nothing else to spend, but I had still a budget of a few $100s left over, so I decided, you know, what's going to make the most sense is not just spending crystals and gambling, which I know a lot of you would love to see, but it only gives me content for 1 or 2 videos, whatever, and it's honestly going to fill me with more anxiety than what I'm about to do. So I'm like, you know what, instead, I'm going to just buy a bunch of tier 4 material so that I can at least tier 4 a bunch of characters, right? I can guarantee that I can tier 4 the next 2-3 characters, depending on how cool they are. And in the meantime, I can also invest in characters here. If you're watching this video and you're wondering, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, Alex, I'm definitely not going to tier 4 Dr. Octopus, but is there like another better option? I'll give you the 2 best options for ABL scores if you're trying to hit that 12 million on as many days as possible to get that extra chest with 50 resources. And I know 50 is not a lot, but if you can hit 50 every single day, okay, let's say you can't hit 50 every single day, but even if you can just hit 50 4 days out of the week, right? That's an extra 200 of a resource. That means an extra 800 per month. Now, it doesn't actually end up working out that way because you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting Soul of the, or getting a Life Seed, which kind of sucks, but it's still much better than nothing, right? So much better. So Luna is actually the best option, Summer Luna, and that doesn't mean you can substitute her with Gamora or Spider-Gwen because they cannot hit 12 million nearly as easily as she can. So it's Summer Luna or bust there for the #1 spot. And then the #2 spot actually goes to Magneto. So yes, 2 seasonal uniforms, very cringe. However, the 3rd place after Magneto is actually Dr. Octopus, so he may be the best option for a lot of you out there who don't dabble in the seasonals. So as you can see here, I have a lot of Carbo, I have a lot of Soul of the Faltine, again, because of that relay. But let's go ahead and see how much this ends up costing me. I have 17,752, and then we've got 15,470. So hopefully we don't get hosed too bad here. But let's go ahead and... No, it's 740, not 470. Okay, let me fix that. 17, okay. And then 26, ouch. And then 27, okay. All right, so the first gear was pretty fucked. All right, great. Hopefully the next couple gears are cheap because, yeah, I really... I like this game, man, but this tier 4 thing is really, you know, is really giving me a pain in my... 27 again. Very cool. Very cool. I love this game. I love how I spend money and the game responds by just taking it all away. Yep, I really enjoy that. That really makes me want to continue. Man, I'm trying not to get triggered here, and it's so irritating. 16 should be like single digits. 11. Okay, that's not bad. If the next one ends up being like single digits from start to finish, this could actually end up still being a good run, but it has to be like single digits all the way through. Okay, 12, low double digits is fine. Low, please, low double digits. Come on. 24. 12. Okay. Yeah, we have to assess the damage here. I don't think this one was cheap. I was hoping this one would be cheap. Really and truly, I was. You have to level up the skills. I see people messaging. They're like, how come I can't tier 4? Come on, guys. This has been in the game for almost a year now. You got to know how to... Wait, no, this has been in the game for more than a year. What am I saying? It's been in the game... Yeah, it's been in the game for like a year and a half. Of course. You have to level up the skills, guys. Come on. Okay, so we have 11,000. Now let me whip out the calculator here. 11,000. Wow, that's... Yeah, we got kind of fucked here, eh? 11,973. And then we have 11,948. So with the advancement here, 17,752 minus 11,973, it cost me 5,700. So just for the gears, it cost me Oh, that's a lot. It cost me just under 6K for the gears, which sucks because just to give you guys an idea of how much this does suck. This is how much it cost me. 37.92 Soul of the Fountain. Really? Seems like I did the math wrong there. That doesn't seem like that many. Okay. It still means I have enough for about 2 more tier 4s, but seriously, like it's so toxic. It's so toxic. Like, to give you guys an example, right? I have to press this button and spend another 800, right? The last tier 4 we did before this Loki, his total cost was what I've spent so far. So basically the gear cost and the upgrade cost was equal to just the gear cost for Dr. Octopus. And yeah, so it sucks. So that's why you can't get an exact number for how much these tier 4s cost. Because of the RNG. And you know what? If there were more ways to get tier 4 materials, if it wasn't so insanely insanely strangled the way that it is now, I don't know what it's called. I'm like so I'm irritated and tired, so I don't really know what the word is. I can't come up with words right now. It doesn't matter. The build here looks pretty trash. I'm not going to lie to you. We have to go ahead and fix this build. We're off by so much crit damage. We have a 180 Mighty Rage. We do have a 6-star artifact, which is really nice. We pulled this one a long time ago. I probably should have prioritized him as a tier 4 because I had the artifact, but I didn't do that, and that's kind of on me. I believe Luna has the striker that I'm looking for, which is Ghost Rider. So we're going to go ahead and swap that over. And then I'm actually going to try to leave it in the video depending on how long it takes me. But I want to show you guys in one way or another what it looks like when I'm trying to learn a character. Because I'm basically just learning him for ABL, right? So I have to like get it down pack. I got to figure it out. But we're going to have to figure out this shit first because I'm way overcapped. I'm still way overcapped on dodge. We have double movement speed. So he's like a zoomer. I'm actually overcapped on movement speed. Wow. He's got so much dodge that he doesn't need. He's got so much cooldown that he doesn't need. Okay. So let's go ahead and fix that. The Uru is all screwed up, for sure. The Uru is all screwed up. But we got to give him the physical attack grit damage for sure. We got to go ahead and give him 4 of those. Oh my god, he has ignored defense, Uru? What? This build is so crusty, bro. This build is so crusty. Oh, whoa. We don't do that. Okay, I didn't pay attention. I had an Odin's Blessing on him. Wow, okay. So now we are at... Oh, great. So now we're capped on crit damage. That's excellent. That's actually really, really nice. We're capped on crit damage. We do want to keep the existing crit damage ones that we have. But everything else we can sort of demolition. This isn't going to look pretty, though.
Is there a way to make this look pretty? There is, I guess. Yeah. Okay. There is a way to make this look pretty. We can go ahead. We're going to do the Strike Uru, obviously. The Strike Odin's Blessing, obviously. We want to go for Symmetry. Anyways, we'll just fast forward through this and I'll show you guys real quick at the end.
And there we go. So 12 Odin's Blessings later, and he's rank 414 with 100,000 physical attack. You love to see it. And we're basically capped on all of the relevant stats, as you can see. So now let's go ahead and see how long it takes me to figure out how to play him. Hey, no shade to Black Panther. Love him as a tier 4. Super fun to play, but he only gets me about 9 to 10 million. So we're really hoping to make that leap to 12 with Dr. Octopus. All right, so after some practice and some much needed coaching by Matt, shout out to Matt, I got 10.8 million. Now this is still over a million shy of 12, but I still think we can hit closer. Ooh, ooh. Very close. Very, very close. 11.5. Ooh. God dang. And that could have been a better run. So I'm pretty sure with more practice, I could hit 12 million with a Mighty Rage. The issue is, I think even with practice, it wouldn't be something that I could do just one run and done. And that's really how I like to approach ABX and ABL. I don't like to play it a lot and every day and get my hands all cramped up. It's just really not for me. If you're playing on a computer, if you're playing with a keyboard, it's a completely different experience. Or you have a controller or something like that. But for us, you know, classic phone gamers, you want to make things a little bit easier on yourself. I think this is a little bit too hardcore for me. So I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to eat the 800 crystal unequipped cost, and we're going to bump it up to a brilliant. Because basically, you know, I can now, hopefully, go in and just one-shot this at 12 million. And hopefully I'll get more than 12 million. That's really the goal. But the reason why I sort of made this distinction here is twofold. One, it's taken me over an hour, I would say, over an hour of steady practice to even improve from 10 million. It was 9.4 million on the first one, which was devastatingly bad, to 10 million. And then I was basically stuck at 10 million for a long time. Matt came and helped. I bumped that all the way up to 11.5. So I'm really happy with that progress and the fact that I was able to show you guys that progress, and it's you know, there to be shown. But I realized as well, one of the things that bumped me up from that much, from 10 to 11, is actually dropping the graphics to very low. And with my phone these days, I also have to do that with Luna and Jean Grey. So I don't want to be held back by my device. And by the way, lag on the device absolutely contributes to a lower score in ABX and ABL. It actually leads to like less damage in World Boss and GBR as well, because every time you're lagging, you're losing frames. And the game calculates the damage frame by frame. So if you lose a whole frame to lag, even though you were doing damage, the game doesn't calculate that damage. So it doesn't get added to the whatever, to the score, or to reducing the enemies or the boss's HP bar. So lag is one of the biggest things that holds players back when they've got everything else figured out, right? Like they've got the builds, they've got the cards, they've got everything, and they're like, man, I still can't get a good score. Well, what's going on? Well, it's because you've got a really old device. It's because whatever's going on, it's lagging. So I'm going to do another run here with commentary, and hopefully this will be a one and done with a brilliant rage now to 12 million. So we switch immediately. We do 254. We wait for him to become erect, and then we cancel into 6, and then we drop the 5, the 2, and the 1. And now this is actually a really bad run, so we're going to reset. The reason why we reset in that earlier clip is because Surtur didn't move soon enough. You actually want him to move much sooner. You want him to move there because of the setup for the next rotation. You want to tap the auto attack, and then you want to end with 2 here. You should be at around 11 to 12 million. It's just for the timing. If he doesn't dash earlier, then you end up with really, really bad timing. So there we go. Just about 2 million on the first rotation. The highest I was able to do here with a Mighty Rage was actually closer to 18. So I'm really happy to see an upgrade here. We're going to pop this, and then as soon as things are ready, we're going to unload on him for 2 full rotations. It's absolutely harder to do this while talking, but I'm going to do my best here, and hopefully it won't result in less than 12 million. If it's not much more than 12 million, it doesn't really bother me, but as long as it's at least 12 so I can get that score. And that's why I was not submitting my score either. For those of you that are wondering, if you submit your score, once it's submitted, you cannot go ahead and replay it for you know, for those rewards again. You can replay it for more score, absolutely, but you cannot replay it for more rewards. So make sure that you do not submit your score until you're happy with it because of that. Now, we had a bit of an issue there. We're actually losing score. We're still doing really well. Wow, 7.5 million here is excellent. But we had a bit of an issue because of the timing with everything. I wish that second skill was a V-pad, man. They really could have made a perfect character. I screwed up again with the rotation there. Okay, that's fine. No worries. Playing a bit sloppy here. I'm trying to explain what's going on, and it's making my play sloppy. Okay, 8.5 is not bad. It really should be closer to like 8.75. And the reason for that is essentially because I screwed up a rotation. Now, I think I screwed up here as well. Oh, we just got that off in time. That would have completely ended the run there. And this is what happened. This is why it's so difficult to play and talk simultaneously. It's really a skill that you should not take for granted because of how difficult it is for content creators to do. Should be good here, though. He's going to dash. Oh, no, he's not going to dash. Okay, that's fine. Now, I didn't really want to start this before. I was hoping that the energy would fall on me, and it didn't. So, unfortunately, we just have to gun it. and go for it. We're a bit behind here, but I still think we can power through. And this is kind of what I was hoping for. Even with a really bad run like this, we can still manage to pop the 5 and ramp through. Yeah, we can still manage to just power through and get 12. This is exactly what I wanted. And unfortunately, this is what it takes these days for characters like Luna as well. There are certainly some players out there, don't get me wrong, there are certainly some players who can one and done Dr. Octopus and get 12 million every time with a Mighty Rage. Don't believe that it's impossible, but it absolutely takes a high-end account, and it takes very good, like very high skill, and there's also some RNG components to it. Like, I think it's much harder to hit 12 million on your very first run if Surtur doesn't dash after your first rotation, if he stalls out, because then it just ruins your timing. But yeah, all of that, like, you know, over 6,000 carbonadium spent, 800 crystals spent, and and a brilliant rage, you know, that doesn't get to go to another character like Black Bolt or Loki. All of that for what, Alex? All of that for what? Because maybe I could have hit 10 million with Black Panther. Let's see, right? So we still would have gotten most of these rewards, all the same. The only real difference here is we would not have gotten this one right here. Boom. 50 Soul of the Falty. Now, yeah, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. It's a third of what you get daily. But hey, it adds up. It adds up for one. And for two, it makes it so that I have more to sort of... It just encourages me to take the game more seriously because there's sort of rewards on the line, you know? I've never been a whale who just spends needlessly. I've always tried to be really efficient about my spending, and that goes equally for my resources. And so if you're telling me, you know, of course I want a tier 4 characters for just the fun of it, which I did for Ant-Man, which I did for Professor X, which I did for Black Panther. But at the same time, I also want a tier 4 characters because they represent an upgrade to my account. And the other argument to be made for Dr. Octopus specifically is that when you look at the combat human category, right, which is where Dr. Octopus is competing as a combat villain and as a combat human, we can actually filter here for villains. There's very little competition. There's very, very little competition. Even if we take away the human tag here, there's really not that many options. Realistically, are the devs going to give, you know, Taskmaster a tier 4 that suddenly turns him into a powerhouse, or her? No, they're not going to do that, right? With Omega Red, sure, they could do that, or Sabretooth, or even Apocalypse. Absolutely, they could tier 4 these characters. They're popular enough, but they're not humans. So they're only going to be able to compete with Dr. Octopus on one of the 2 ABL days. So his value is very insulated, right? There's a very wide moat if you're into like stocks and stuff like that. His moat is very, very wide. Really, the biggest competitor in my mind to Dr. Octopus is Kingpin. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking, okay, I don't really want a tier 4 Dr. Octopus, this gameplay seems pretty toxic, I don't really have the finger strength for it, or the speed, or the dexterity, or whatever, then I would say continue to wait until Kingpin gets a tier 4, which he probably will for the Echo Show. Now, the Echo Show is slated to start releasing in January of next year, which is about 2 months away. And then who knows, right? It could drop in February. We could get a Kingpin update in February. Could be March. It really just depends on when the devs decide to update the character, because all of the Echo episodes are launching at the same time. So the season is basically, you know, quote unquote spoiled in one day. And even then, Kingpin doesn't necessarily guarantee him the spot at tier 4 and also the spot to beat Dr. Octopus. They would have to replace a seasonal uniform for Kingpin there. And then secondly, they would have to make him strong enough to outclass Dr. Octopus with an easier rotation. I could certainly see them doing that, but again, once the character hits 12 million for me, I don't really care anymore. Right now, obviously, if a character can hit 12 million with fewer resources invested, that's great. But as it stands right now, nobody on my roster can hit 12 million for me with my playstyle and my skill without a brilliant. So I haven't expected it of any other character, so it's unreasonable for me to expect it of Dr. Octopus. He certainly came the closest. Like I certainly wasn't hitting 12 million with Luna with a Mighty, and that also came down to lag as well. So with those kinds of situations, appreciate it, Pedro, but not right now. Because of those kinds of situations, you know, with my sort of dwindling skill and my phone lagging, it just becomes a situation where it just makes more sense to invest highly in these characters to guarantee the return. So yeah, I'm happy with this, despite him costing me way too much. But let me know your comments down below. Do you think I made a good decision, or do you think I made the wrong decision? It's up for debate. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.